we've had an instance where we actually won a contract,
Yes.
um, over $8 million, and some
Wow.
guys came to me and said, "Hey, um, what is it that you have for us on this?" And I said, "You know how I deal. I'm sorry, I don't I don't do quid pro quo.
Quid
You
pro
give
quo,
me
exactly.
something
That is
and
the
I give you
term.
something." I say, "I'm sorry." They say, "But you know this is not America." And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. That's how I deal."
Yes.
And at the end of the day, they found a way and canceled that project.
$8
Yes.
million. dollars.
Yes. Over $8 million. There are so many opportunities where they will tell you, look, listen, uh, your invoices, we can pay you tomorrow, we can pay you next week. All
Yes.
you need to do is just give us some money. And we say, no,
No.
we do not.
Yes.
Or they will come and say, hey, you will win this contract. And if you give us some money, we would assure you that you win it. And we
Yes.
say, no.
Hello. Thank you for listening to the Your Forever Money podcast. Today's guest is a good friend, Geoffrey Nwankwo. He operates an oil technology services firm in Nigeria. In the early part of the discussion, we talk about why he went into business. I think you'll find his why very interesting. Then we move on to what type of work does his charity do today? They build houses, schools, and roads. We then move the discussion to why does he operate his business with a very high level of integrity when for most of his competitors, that is not something they consider. We then end the discussion with how and why he's diversifying his income stream today. I think you'll enjoy the discussion. Happy listening. Good morning, Geoffrey. How are you?
Hey, Wanji, good to be with you today.
Thank you. So thank you very much for joining the podcast. As usual with my podcast guests, I normally ask them where they were born and where they grew up. So can you tell us a little bit about your background?
All right. I was born in a city in Nigeria, in the middle belt, they call it. It's
Uh-huh.
the city is Boko
Okay.
in the state of Benue State.
I see.
Uh, I grew up in Nigeria, went to all my schooling,
Uh-huh.
primary, secondary, first degree.
Yes.
And I went to University of Ibadan and studied petroleum engineering,
Uh-huh.
and started working in the oil industry for an American company called Gearhart in 1986.
Uh-huh.
And Gearhart, based in Fort Worth, Texas,
Good.
later was bought out by Halliburton. And so that's how I joined Halliburton
Great.
and worked for them in Nigeria, and then went to work for them in Congo and Angola before leaving the company. And of course, being an American company, yearly we come to the US to do training. So
Great.
my first time coming to the US was in 1987. As a
Wow.
young engineer, I came to Fort Worth to train for Gearhart.
Good. 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 And so where do you live today?
I live on the outskirts of Nashville, Brentwood, Tennessee.
Uh,
And I have lived in Nashville and its environment uh, for about 30 years.
wow. Wow. But you spend a lot of time in Nigeria running your company as well.
Yes. So I started this business in 2013. So January
Ah,
2013,
I
I
see.
went to Nigeria. And at that time, when I started, I was doing 4 weeks in Nigeria and 4 weeks back here.
Yes.
But today, the company has grown. We have maybe about 40 employees,
Wow.
and my time in Nigeria has reduced because I have a very good team.
Great.
So I really don't need to be in Nigeria to run this business. COVID taught us you could do a lot of things remotely. But
Fantastic.
I still go there. I'm
Yeah,
supposed to go like every quarter.
I see.
I go 2, 3 weeks. So
Uh-huh.
that's what I'm doing now.
Fantastic. So it's interesting. You started this business in 2013. Um, so can you tell us what you were doing prior to 2013, and then what motivated you to start the business then?
All right. So I worked for Halliburton for about 12 and a half years, a little more than 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
And then I quit. At the time I was working for Halliburton, my wife came to Nashville to do her specialist training.
Yes.
My wife is a physician. While she was here, my company really didn't care where you lived as long as you showed up for work. So I would
Great.
go from here to Angola or wherever and do 5 weeks, and then I'll come back. So
Yeah.
when I left uh, working for Halliburton, I joined HCA. HCA is a company based in Nashville
Yeah.
that owns hospitals across the country, and
Yes.
they have a huge network engineering department. So I
Yes.
joined that department as a project person. So I was doing project
Ah,
management
I
for
see. I see.
network engineering. So you may wonder how I went from petroleum engineering to a really a huge electrical engineering. So
Yes.
that's what happened. So I was doing a lot of work as a project manager,
Sure.
and then uh, we were going back to Nigeria every year, um, and we were doing some little charity work.
Sure.
One of it was really a huge shift for me when we built a house for a widow.
Okay. Okay.
That was in maybe about uh, 2009 or
Uh-huh.
thereabout. So we built this house, and the impact on the lady and myself especially was profound.
Wow.
The the
Wow.
the difference in her life, her expectations, it changed me. So I'm
Wow.
like, okay, this is really what I would want to do going forward. But I didn't have the money because in the US it's very difficult to save money,
Yes.
and it took us about $30,000 to build a house.
Sure.
It's tough to save 30,000 every year to
It,
build a house, and I'm like, if I'm able to go set up a business and my business does well, it's easy to do that. So that was
wow.
what motivated me to quit my job in Nashville. And I went back to the oil industry that I had left. Remember, I worked for them 12 and a half years. Then
Yes.
worked for HCA about 12 and a half years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then now I said, I'm going to go back because I have this oil industry experience. I'm
Yes.
Nigerian originally. If I go back to Nigeria, I can use these skills, my petroleum engineering and my project management. If I set up my business and it
Good.
does well, then this business can build these houses. So that's what motivated me.
That's a very interesting story, right? Because many times people start business out of the need just to make a lot of money for themselves,
Mm.
right? So they want to make a lot of money for themselves and pad their bank accounts. Other times people start businesses based on some type of personal passion. I find it so interesting that you found a business based on a need and helping others. I think that is definitely commendable and definitely a very good thing. That's great. So, along that line, so today you continue to build houses. Can you tell us a little bit about that, your charity work?
Yes. So um, we have today been able to build about 15 of those houses.
Wow.
We have built 2 schools in the northern part of Nigeria.
Wow.
As we speak, we are building a 2.5-kilometer road. Yes.
Wow.
We have done about 80%. What it remains now is asphalting the road.
Yes.
So it's been unbelievable what God has used this company to do. A
Excellent.
lot of charity
Amen.
work that God has really, really done.
Amen.
You said, how we started was looking at how we could be of help. And
Yes.
God has shown up because it's tough to do business in Nigeria.
Yes.
And we generally don't do the Nigerian way. So it's and God has been giving us favor that people who will put obstructions
Yes.
on our way, they don't.
That's
And
fantastic.
people who ordinarily will not talk to us because we are not playing ball, they call it.
Yes. Yes.
But God touches them and they give us work and they'll say, I don't even know why I'm helping you. So God
Wow.
has shown up and really given us favor.
Geoffrey, this is so interesting, right? So number one, like a couple points here. So number one, you went in with the intention of building just houses. So you continue to build houses. Now you built 2 schools, and now you're building a road, right? I find that very interesting in
2.5
terms of the way your scope has expanded. But I'm sure it's the need, based on the need as God has touched your heart. You've just expanded the scope. Number two, you've touched on such an important point because, again, you think it's not only Nigeria, it's just a third world country or a developing country. You're thinking oil business, there's just so much corruption. And here you are walking with integrity in that. That's so good. I think one time you had told me a story, and I don't know if it was maybe around the time you were starting, but do you mind telling maybe, I guess, a story of a time you were looking at a situation? Certainly, if you had gone in and given money, you would have made things quick and very fast. You did not, and yet still you were able to proceed. Do you have a story you want to tell our guests?
Oh, there are so many opportunities where they will tell you, look, listen, your invoices, we can pay you tomorrow, we can pay you next week.
Yes.
All you need to do is just give us some money. And we say, no, we do not.
Yes.
Or they will come and say, hey, you will win this contract. And if you give us some money, we would assure you that you win it. And we say, no. We've had an instance where we actually won a contract.
Yes.
Over $8 million. And
Wow.
some guys came to me and said, hey, what is it that you have for us on this? And I said, you know how I deal. I'm sorry. I don't do quid pro quo.
Quid pro
You
quo,
give me
exactly.
something
That is
and
the
I give
term.
you something. I say, I'm sorry. They say, but this is not America. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. That's how I deal.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, they found a way and canceled that project.
$8 million.
Yes, over $8 million. But
Wow.
we really don't care because we know why we are there. And we are not in a haste to make money.
Yes.
So not being in a haste to make money makes us that we are not desperate.
Yes.
Right? We are not desperate. But
Yes.
we are also conscious that we are not arrogant. So we pursue every opportunity. We don't say, oh, we don't care. Because it's not about us. Right?
Yes.
Every money must be made. We can't leave even a cent on the table.
Yes.
So we try all we can. If we don't win it, we wouldn't. It's okay as long as we remain ethical.
Amen. So Geoffrey, can you help us understand what is the guiding principle that lets you do business that way? Because for many people, they're like, look, it's a quid pro quo world. I don't like it, but I feel I have to play. What's your guiding principle that says, no, I won't do that? Thanks for listening to this podcast. Please remember to hit subscribe on YouTube or whatever platform you use so you can get new episodes as soon as they're published.
Well, one of the things is that when you begin to give money, it's not just you, it's going to be pervasive. It's going to go through your entire system, your
Yes.
workers, everybody will see it. So
Yes.
they'll begin to compromise quality and competence because they know that my boss is going to go settle,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So they know from beginning, we don't give money to get work. We
Yes.
don't give money when there is a problem, we go to settle them. We don't give money to get paid
Yes.
for the entire process. So how do we get new work? It is competence. It is doing things diligently well, right? So
Yes.
for me, it is because Nigeria and many African countries, it's not as if the US, there is not corruption.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a human society. It's a human
Sure.
society. But they have systems here that will hold people accountable.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in Africa or in Nigeria, these systems are there, but they are not being implemented. So
Yes.
there is very loose implementation of these guidances
Yes.
that you have. So why, for me, one of the reasons I'm there is to show that you can do things in an ethical way and still be successful. If we
Amen.
have to join every other person, then why did you come back to be part of the solution? You've just
Yes.
come and you've become part of the problem. Yeah. So
Excellent.
that's the guidance for me
Excellent.
there.
That's
And
great.
and because we have been doing it all this while, anytime are we pressured to change? Of course. Yeah, every day.
Yes.
They are pushing for you to change. But I remember that God has been faithful, so He's
Amen.
not going to change. As a human being, sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, my competitors are out there with bags of money, giving people, how am I going to get the next work? I panic.
Exactly.
But I
Exactly.
remember, it's not you, it's God
It's
that
God.
is bringing the work and giving you favor. So I just bring myself back to remember.
Excellent. So God has been faithful for sure.
Yes,
That is great. That's
yes,
very good. Very, very
yes.
good. So I want to pivot here and go back to a story you told me. For our guests, I probably should have mentioned this. So when Geoffrey's in the US, him and I go to the same church. Right. And I'm quite the talker, so I ask lots of questions. So I think I've cornered him a couple of times. So this goes back to a story you told me. I believe oil prices dropped significantly. I can't remember if it was 2015, 2016, and you had some revenue challenges. And your competitors around you were laying off. So can you tell that story and what you did with your headcount during that time? So what was your revenue and what was your head what did you do with your headcount?
All right. So in 2016, the oil industry is always cyclical. It's
Yes.
sometime up, sometime down. So it's a bust and boom cycle.
Yes.
So this bust cycle was 2016. Um, very few jobs.
Yeah.
For that entire year, we didn't get any revenue.
Zero revenue, and you're running a
Zero.
company.
And I had workers to pay.
Wow.
And
Zero revenue.
zero.
Wow.
So
That's not good.
no, at all. So all the companies laid people off.
Yeah.
And even the people they retained, they cut their salaries.
Wow.
And my intention was to do that. So I went to Port Harcourt. When I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Lagos.
Yes.
Lagos is the financial capital.
Mm-hmm.
All the decision makers for the oil companies are there. So I'm there trying to do business development and all that. But my operations base is in the south, which is Port Harcourt or
Yes.
southeast. And I went there and I called my workers. They all know what was going on. And my intent was to tell them, I'm sorry, we're going to release some of you because of our cost and all that. And before I was going to say anything, one of them stood up and he said, sir, we just want to thank you because you have been doing such a great work. We are grateful for what you are doing,
Yes.
and we pray and ask God to help you continue to do very good work.
Yeah.
And here I am, just about to tell them I'm going to release some of it. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? So I
Yes.
stood up and I said, you know what, guys? We're going to continue to see how we can survive this, and I trust God will help us.
Yeah.
And I took my bag and I went back to Lagos.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't lay anybody off. But look at what happened. So that year, no revenue, right?
No revenue.
For a whole year.
Yeah.
We had a contract that was 60 days. They were supposed to pay us when you submit your invoices 60 days.
Yes.
And for more than a year, these guys were owing us a lot of money.
Sure.
They never paid. Do you believe that that year they paid that money? It was that money that kept us for a whole year.
Oh my goodness.
So sometimes when you're praying and it's
Yes.
as if God is not answering your prayer, better have patience because there's a reason.
There's a
If they
reason.
had paid that money the year,
Yes.
a year or two that it was due, I would have used that money to buy more tools.
Oh my. And the money would not have been there to pay staff.
Yeah, you know. But here we are. Now the money was paid at the right time, and then we were able to survive that 1 year. And that singular act that we didn't cut salaries, we didn't release people, endeared me to the workers.
Yes.
That
Yes.
they are very, very committed to the company. And in fact, there is a business book by Peter Drucker that
Yes.
was talking about that it is the responsibility of management to promise or to make sure that workers, their employment is fixed, or that it cannot change. We will not sack you because things are not going well. It is
Yes.
management's responsibility to make sure that workers, that their jobs are secured. It's your
Interesting.
responsibility in management. So after I read, I said, oh, we did this by mistake. You know?
Wow.
So the next thing there was, I think 2 years or 3 years later,
Yes.
we got another cycle of bust. And
Yes.
guys, my office, they said, sir, the last time we didn't even have any revenue. This time we're getting some revenue. So nobody will be fired.
So it's amazing that they're
Yeah.
comfortable, right?
You know,
and they
so-
trust. I mean, the key thing is trust, right? Because as you can imagine, in most companies today, especially those that are publicly traded, right? It doesn't even have to be a bust. Just any dip in revenue many times comes with a lot of head cuts. And you can imagine workers in those companies are very nervous, very uncertain about, their financial futures because they know, a small dip in a company financial performance, many times lots of heads go. So very, very good there. I mean, that to me is a miracle that zero new business, zero revenues, you just get an old invoice paid and you could keep your staff. That's great. That's great. And I know you've got low attrition in your company, from our discussions. So clearly, it does pay off. It does pay
Yes.
off.
Yes. So we have committed staff.
Yes.
And, again, being a third world country, the currency depreciates a lot.
Yes.
So what we have done is to tie each row to the dollar. So as the local currency is depreciating, their pay is changing to follow the depreciation. So
Wow.
so we generally are paying better salaries, and that's
Yes.
we are keeping most of our workers.
That is great. That is really, really good that you could do that. Fantastic. I think people who write about businesses in Nigeria, I hope they hear your story and they get to write about you. because again, you're setting a very, very good example out there.
Yeah, one of the things that we also do is we send our engineers to train overseas. The
Yes,
other local companies like mine, they are scared, they are afraid. They are like, if I send this guy to the US, he may not return.
sure,
Or if he returns, he's now more skilled, he will join another company.
sure.
But we don't care. We send our engineers to the US, we send them to the UK to train, because as far as we are concerned, if you're working for us, you must be competent. And we create good environment for you to work. Your decision, whether to continue to work for us or not, is
Yeah.
yours. It's not
Wow.
ours. So we don't care. So again, that is one of the things that work for us. And um, right now, we're having challenges with getting visas.
Sure.
And what we just finished a session where we brought one of the uh, OEMs, one of the
Yes.
manufacturers to Nigeria. They brought their engineer and they trained our engineers, because now we're having challenges to get visa to send them to the UK, for instance.
Yeah.
This Aberdeen-based company, we paid, brought one of the engineers to train our engineers.
Wow. That's great. That's great. That's very, very good. I mean, I think there's a lot we can talk about in terms of your management practices and, the way you treat your people. And it's clear to me that you're getting huge returns on that because you're getting it in terms of loyalty, your people staying, and your people doing great work. So that's very, very, very good. So I'm going to pivot for a minute here because a couple weeks ago, we also talked about investments, one of my favorite topics. So I know you obviously get money and revenue coming in from your oil services business, but you also made an investment, I believe it was in real estate. Do you mind talking about that investment and maybe telling us why you made the investment, which is obviously out of what you normally do, out of the oil business?
All right. So we do a lot of charity work
Yes.
because our business was started because of charity. So
Yes.
our focus is always uh, what can we do more and more. So every year we are increasing our charity budget.
Wow.
So it is only the oil business that is the stream that is bringing money.
Sure.
So I started thinking we need to have something else that can help to generate revenue we need for this charity work.
Yeah.
And also to reduce my dependency on Nigeria.
Yes.
So it's two swords,
Yes.
So I now looked at what I can do that will not entail too much work, because I
Yes.
could go and start another technical company here that
Sure.
will involve me a lot.
Yes.
And I went into commercial real estate,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And so I bought a property around here in Murfreesboro.
Yes.
And so the idea is that property, the we need to get it to a point where we can pull revenue from it
Yes.
that will support our charity work. So
Great.
that's the basis, that we are going to have a real estate portfolio
Yes.
that will now be at par with our oil business, so that it can support our charity work. So if my oil business gives X
Yes.
and this gives X, then I have to X. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
So
I really like your thought behind that because that's part of what we do here is coach our audience and coach our clients on making sure you've got a robust stream of income, because there you are making sure you're not overly dependent on any one business or industry. And in addition to that, you're actually diversifying the countries from which you get your revenue. This is really, really good. And I do happen to know the property you mentioned, you bought it under a triple net, right? Which means you're not responsible for a lot of the repairs and insurance and things of that nature. which I think is great. I mean, I also own one such property overseas, and I love it because I don't have any maintenance whatsoever. It's great. In fact, on that one, the only taxes I pay are related to income taxes from the rent, because even local taxes on that one, the tenant happens to pay. So very, very low maintenance and low effort for me. Very different from our residential real estate, because my wife and I own residential real estate, and that one generally has a lot of hassles because you're changing tenants. I've changed roofs before, and there are lots of repairs, so just a lot of hassle, right? So this one I think is very, very, very smooth and good. So I've got a question for you. Can you, because some of our guests and many people I run into just have no idea in terms of where to start. The concept of having a diversified income stream, they understand and they like, but they have no idea to start. What would your advice be then to somebody who has no clue? Um, how should they start diversifying their income? Any advice from you on that?
Okay, so it could be someone who is working
Yes.
and um, all right now you're getting is just your salary.
Yes.
But what else can you do that will bring money? Or
Yes.
someone who is a business person, you are in a particular industry, what else could you do? One of the things is to look at your passion. What is it that you really like to do? What skills do you have?
Yes.
What finances do you have?
Excellent.
So, what can all these put together do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is that would drive your decision. For
Yes.
instance, I'm in oil and gas business primarily,
Yes.
and here I am. Uh, I went into real estate. Why? Because the real estate um, commercial real estate
Yes.
will not take as much time for me.
Good point.
I have the financial resources to go into that,
Yes.
and then I've done some due diligence. I have an objective. What
Yes.
is it that this business will do for me? I think I'm going to just reset and go back to say this. Whatever you're doing,
Yes.
um, of course, business is about money. You must make money. If you don't make money, the business will die,
That is
right?
true.
So business must make money. But really, your business should be about what God has called you to do or to be.
Yes.
So your business, your experience and finances, everything you have should be about I I understand uh, what God has called me to do,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I understand my call or my
Yes.
calling,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Then I now will, whatever I'm thinking about is how do I use that to fulfill that call? So my own business, it's about, I want to find out
Yeah.
what I can do to help build more houses for this kind of widow, right? My second one, yes, I'm interested in real estate, in diversifying my portfolio, but look
Yes.
at what my goal is whatever revenue I can generate from this, it will help me to fulfill the charity work because I believe that God has called me in that space, right? So
Yes.
that's the first thing that is important because it clearly defines you that there is a call of
Yes.
my life. So you live for that purpose. Then every other thing revolves about that purpose. So
Excellent.
um, you must define the purpose for your life. Then your interests. will come in. Okay, what business do I have skills to do? What business does the financier, my finances at this point? Of course,
Yes.
where we will not be in the same space, experience-wise and finance-wise, all the time.
Yes.
As you get older, generally,
Yes.
as you get older, you have more experience, you have more finances.
True.
So, but you also have less window to make mistakes, right? So,
This
the
is the balance in
yeah,
life,
yeah,
right?
the earlier the better, So I would say, look at the experience you have, look at your interest, look at the finances you have, and then pray and ask God to help you to make the right decision.
Yeah. Geoffrey, very, very, very well said. You touched on so many points there. It's been said that the two greatest days, right, in a person's life are the day they're born and then the day they find out why they were born. So
Mm,
very, very, very important. Like you said, you need to find out what your passion is and what your reason for existence is. What dream has God put on your heart? And then pursue that dream, and that can help you determine what type of investments or what type of things you do. I think that's so important. That is so important, that we leave from a place of passion and
mm,
we also leave from a place of calling, right?
mm,
Because there's much more to my life than just making money
mm,
or making a name for myself. There's something so much bigger than that. That's been so interesting. I can't believe, Geoffrey, the time has flown by, right?
mm.
much more than I would like. And in the interest of time,
Yeah.
I think we'll start wrapping up here. But this
All
has
right.
been such an inspirational talk with you, such an inspirational podcast. Starting off with um you being in the petroleum business, why you are in the petroleum business, and then also the way you run your business with integrity. I can tell you that there's so many people who would be looking at you in the space, some of them scratching their heads, wondering, why would you do business this way?
Mm,
That there has to be an easier way of doing business.
mm.
But thanks for being true to your calling in terms of pursuing the passion God's put in your heart. Also, thanks for being a person of integrity, showing people this is the way God intends for them to live. That's why Christ came. This is the way God intends for them to live. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much for what you do for the widows, the houses you've built, the schools you've built, and now the road you're building as well. Deeply appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wenji. It's been a great opportunity. We couldn't live a better life than that which is yielded to Lordship of Jesus Christ. So
Amen.
thank you for the opportunity.
Very well said. Thank you. So, for our guests, thank you very much for joining us for this podcast. We will be back again in another 2 weeks. And thanks once again. If you want to contact us, please feel free to go to our website and hit the contact us button there. Thanks a lot.